Till the 16th century, almost 33% of the wealth of the world was in the hands of the Hindu society. Our youth have this sankalp in their heart that we must make Bharat Akhanda. Mahabharat, that Dwarka drowned 7 times in history. Almost 40% of our women are suffering from anemia even today. Whatever you are seeing good in Bharat is because of the Hindu value system. Today, the birth rate of our country is now 1.93. The birth rate of the Muslim society is around 2.3. Last year, Vishwa Hindu Parishad gave self-employment to over 14,000 people. Actually, we will see that when we have gathered in a time, which is, I think, the most favorable time for our country, Bharat, as well as our Hindu society in the last 1500 years. And so we have to think about future in this favorable time. Of course, there are many challenges for all of us, but there is never a time when there are no challenges. And as somebody has said, that if it's a very funny saying that was given in Reader's Digest once I read, that if life was a bed of roses, then you'll require an allergy to appreciate it. So it is good that it is not a bed of roses and it is full of challenges. So you'll have to face these challenges as a society, as a country, as a nation, and go forward from here. See, there is a book written by a famous economist called Angus Madison. He's a Britisher, and he wrote the book of the economic history of the millennium. And he writes in that till the 16th century, almost 33% of the wealth of the world was in the hands of the Hindu society. By the 17th century, it came down to around 21-22%. And when Bharat gained political freedom, crores and crores of people had gone below poverty line. Today also crores of people are below poverty line. There was a time when there were universities here where people from all over the world used to come and study. And today, at least 1 lakh students are going to USA every year. In Canada alone, there are 4 lakh Indian students studying right now. So, the situation has changed completely. And that is why I think we have to think about all these things, that we are a society which has tremendous potential, tremendous capacities. How are we going to utilize them is what we have to really worry about. And really, our country and our society has much to give to the world today. If you'll read the speech that was given by Yogi Arvindji on 15th August 1947, and he says that it is the destiny of Bharat to lead this world. That is what he is saying. He is talking about globalization in 1947, 15th August. And then he says that if that has to happen, then Bharat must become Akhanda. Why I am mentioning this? Because making this country one again, because this country was fragmented, it was divided when we gained political freedom in 1947. So do we have that aspiration in our hearts? I think all the youth must think about this. This is very important. Because unless the general population will this have aspiration to unite our country again, make it Akhanda again, it will not happen. Many people think of it as an impossible thing. But we have the example of Vietnam. North and South Vietnam came together. We have the example of Germany, East and West Germany was divided by a physical wall for many decades. And still then it became one. And today Germany is the power engine of Europe again. And we have the example Israel in front of us, who didn't have their own country for 2000 years. And they kept on saying, next year in Jerusalem, next year in Jerusalem. That was the sankalp of the whole society, which was carried for 2000 years, which gave them their country again. So that is the power of the sankalp. Do our youth have this sankalp in their heart that we must make Bharat Akhanda? That is a very important thing. that the total population of our country, all our citizens, must have this strong aspiration. Because as Yogi Arvindji said, the full potential of Bharat is to be, utilized, or for the world to be utilized, Bharat must become Akhanda. So this is one thought I want to put in front of you again. Secondly, we will see that over 500, 600 or 1000 years ago, if we will go and look at science or languages or arts, we will see that how much our ancestors have contributed. The number system, the decimal system, the art of surgery, the first structure medical information, that is Ayurveda, metallurgy, everything you go, astronomy. So when we think of this, all these things, and everywhere now in archaeological finds all over the country, we are finding again and again civilizational cities that are below ground and that are dating back to 4,000, 5,000 years minimum in Bharat alone. Dwarka, it is written in Mahabharata that Dwarka drowned 7 times in history. And what we read about Bhagwan Sri Krishna in Mahabharata, that was the 7th time. Before that, 6 times it has drowned. Now the proof, archaeological proof has been found of that. So our civilization is very, very old. He was talking about Panchang, Mohanji, but a Panchang has been found in Indonesia by the French and by the Dutch. It was an Indian Panchang and it dated back 5,000 years. They were 5,000 years ago's planetary positions were given in that Panchang that was found in Indonesia, that went from here to Indonesia. So we go back as much as we want, and our ancestors were there, very proud ancestors, very capable ancestors that we see. And today also we will see that despite 1,000 years of continuous aggression and so much destruction of our systems, of our knowledge, of our society, of our country, we will see that again, even after 75 years of political freedom, again Bharat's economy is going really fast forward. So many of the Fortune 500 companies are being led by Bharatiyas, and slowly we are seeing that in the field of research, again our people are contributing. Because many of your students, most of your students, what I feel is that now we must pay attention to research, because that has almost stopped in our country. Right now, every field of knowledge, we need to do research. That is very, very important, because knowledge is power. And that power is required. That is now that knowledge is being created or found in Western countries. We have lost that pursuit, and that is why we should undertake that pursuit again. So many of us who have intellectual capacities, can we go again? Can we dedicate our life to research in various fields? That is very, very important. People who are intellectually capable, they must seriously think about full time going into research, and slowly the atmosphere and the policy making in our country is becoming conducive for research. That is the second thing that we will have to pay attention to. Thirdly, when we want to make this nation great, it is not only a few people becoming very educated or rich that will change the face of this country. Because still today, there are crores and crores of people who are living below poverty line. Everybody does not have health facilities. Even in today's Bharat, for every 1,000 people, there are only 1.3 doctors, so to speak, which is according to the WHO, it is a good percentage, but still not sufficient for our country. Because our doctors are concentrated in our cities. There are thousands and thousands of villages in each state where there are no medical facilities. Almost 40% of our women are suffering from anemia even today. The type of cancers that are increasing, that is a very, very big challenge. And we will see that today many states, even over 30% of the children are still malnourished. So these are the challenges in the health sector that we are facing. Who is going to work for them? Not only government, it is the duty of the society also. It is the duty of the citizen also, because that is the debt that is there on our heads. Only 8% of the people in our country are paying income tax right now. Now because of GST, more people are paying tax in different way. But still, we are benefiting from the taxes that are paid by the society. So that debt is there on our head. So are we thinking about paying back to the nation, to the society? And lastly, when we will think about it, when Bharat became the president of this G20, what was our slogan? Everybody was surprised by that slogan. It was one earth, one family, one future. See, it is only Bharat that could give such a slogan. So many people are talking about brotherhoods and universality and globalization. None of those countries could give such type of slogan, because everybody is thinking about their self-interest alone. It is the capacity of Hindu thinking alone which not only thinks about itself or ourselves, we are capable of thinking about the whole humanity. That is the capacity of the Hindu thinking. And that is why it is very, very important that we should protect this way of thinking. We will see today that there are a very, very concerted efforts to change the demography of this country. There is a Hindu imbalance, population imbalance. Whatever you are seeing good in Bharat is because of the Hindu value system. That value system cares for everybody. It doesn't work against anybody. And that is why to protect this value system, population of the Hindu society must be protected. You know, that is a victim of love jihad also. So is this a problem here in Bharat alone? No. Right now, if you look at the discussions that are going in Britain or many of the European countries, they are referring to it as grooming gangs. And that is why there also thousands and thousands of British girls have fallen victim to that. So this is a universal problem. So are we going to think about this? Because it is hurting our society. It is hurting our way of life. Then Hindu Dharma does not proselytize. But Christianity and Islam proselytizes. So it is an uneven field. This is the only country for the Hindu society. Nepal is a very small country. And already over 65,000 organizations are there who are indulging with the power of foreign money against the Hindu society. See, in 2023, the central government announced that FCRA regulations have been, made strict, and it has affected, these actions have affected over 23,000 organizations who are receiving money like this. 23,000 organizations. So it is not workers, it is number of organizations. So what type of powers are working so that Bharat does not rise on the Vishwa Mancha and Hindu does not rise in Bharat? So these are issues we will have to think about. Because whatever is good in Bharat, the way of life, it is because of the population of the Hindu society. We are in majority, that is very, very important. We should stay in majority, that is very, very important. And because all the youth are sitting here, one more topic I will talk about is the Hindu birth rate. Today, the birth rate of our country is now 1.93. If you will think about this, the birth rate of the Muslim society is around 2.3. So the Hindu birth rate is below 1.92. Now, we will see that there is what you can find out these terminologies. There is what is called the replacement rate. Replacement rate is for any community, any country in the world, it is the same. It is 2.1. That means every family must have at least 2 children. If father and mother die, then by 2 the population comes down. If there are 2 children, the population increases again by 2. And so the population is maintained. That is why it is called a replacement rate. Today, most of the European countries, their birth rate has fallen up to 1.6, 1.7, 1.4 also. And that is why a Pew Foundation, which is a Christian think tank, it has said that within 30 to 40 years, many of the European countries will be Christian minority. So it is a worrying thing all over the world. Today, Japan, their birth rate has fallen below 1. So it is in a very, very dangerous situation as far as their existence has come into question now in future. So this is something all the youth must think about, because today, in today's world, even our family life is coming under attack. And so having a family life, maintaining a family is something the youth must think about. So there are many issues that we should think about: our own career, the upliftment of our society in the field of education, health, employment, what we can do. And as Mohanji said, we should not be only job seekers, but we must become the givers of the jobs. And that is why when Bharat had wealth, Bharat was not, or I should say Bharat was a country of entrepreneurs. And that is why how we can travel in that direction again. Vishwa Hindu Parishad, it was not mentioned in that small film. Last year, Vishwa Hindu Parishad gave self-employment to over 14,000 people, because we are working amongst youth. Today with Bajrang Dal, over 32 lakh youth are connected. And with Durga Vaini, over 6 lakh girls are connected. With the women wing, there are around 10 lakh more women are connected. So the ladies wing as well as the Durga Vaini and Bajrang Dal, these are the 3 wings that are concentrating on creating employment, self-employment. And that is a field that we want to work into more deeply. So service activities for the Hindu society, and other thing that we must pay attention to is environment. Hindu culture, Hindu Sanskriti is the most environmental friendly country. We will see that people laugh, oh, you pray to the animals, you pray to the trees, you pray to the hills, and you pray to the rivers, and then you pray to the ground. We are praying to everything and everybody. But that is way of our looking at environment. Because we are taking oxygen, we are not giving money for that. The trees are giving fruits and food to us. But the wood, like forest cover in Bharat, has reduced by 20% since independence. When we gained our political freedom, almost over 30% of the land was under forest. Today it is almost gone down to 11 or 12%. So there is a danger, because we are going away from our way of life and we are endangering our own life. See, Gohatya, it is a very touchy topic. But then we go to a temple, Shivji's temple, we pray to Nandi. We go to Bhagwan Sri Krishna temple, we are praying to the Gomata. We go to Dattatreya temple, we are praying to the Gomata. And then thousands and thousands of Govansh is killed today to eat it. If we do not have milk and milk products, if we do not have our agricultural activity that is based on Govansh, there are going to be very serious problems. Already today our land is poisoned, our food is poisoned because of the chemical fertilizers and the insecticides that we are using. The moment we are going away from cow-based agriculture, there are health hazards and there are many other things that will come into a life that will reduce the quality of our life. So it is not only Shraddha or Astha, it is the quality of our food, quality of our life when we talk about Goraksha. And it is only the Hindu society that is talking about Goraksha, nobody else. And that is that these are some of the issues which may sound to be controversial, but they are not controversial. They connect with our survival. And then what we can contribute for the betterment of the society, those are the second type of issues. Third is our sports. See, such a huge country, and how many gold medals, how many silver medals are we getting in our Olympics and other such competitive sports? So we are not paying attention to sports, and it is for the youth to go for sports activity also. We should go to learn fighting art, everything. There is boxing, there is judo, there is karate, there is many things that are good for self-defense. Are we thinking about self-defense? What happened in Bangladesh just 5-6 months ago? And there were comments on Instagram, there were comments in Facebook that we are waiting for a time that this should happen in Bharat. There were open comments. So these are the situations that are there in which under these circumstances we are living. So we should think about career, but we must think about Suraksha also. We should think about our family and career, but we must think about what is the atmosphere of our country, what is the future of our country. So I think unless you have a holistic view, you must think in a holistic manner. If you think in a reductionist manner, only in part, only myself, only my family, or only this or that, then probably we will be making the wrong decisions. And that is why lastly I will only say that this deals with national character. See, we may have a good personal character. I may be very honest. My character may be very good. But how do I think and act when nation or the society or the dharma or the Sanskriti is concerned? What is my attitude? What are my thoughts? What are my actions? Do my thoughts, what I say or my actions hurt the society, hurt the nation? That is what we have to think about. All of us know that Mirza Raja Jai Singh was sent to defeat Shivaji Maharaj by Aurangzeb. So that time a very famous letter was written by Mirza Raja Jai Singh to him by Shivaji. And Shivaji Maharaj ji wrote in that letter that why don't you remove Aurangzeb and become the king of Bharat? If you do that, then I will work for you. That is what Shivaji Maharaj is saying. But Mirza Raja Jai Singh ji could not understand that. We know that he arrested Shivaji Maharaj ji and then took him to Agra. We know the rest of the history. If you look at Mirza Raja Jai Singh's Jivan, he was doing Go Puja every day. He was doing Shivji's Puja every day. He was doing Annadan every day. He was doing all these things which are considered to be good in personal life. But what was good for the country, what was good for the dharma, what was good for our society, he could not understand despite that. So he may have a very good personal character, but his national character was very weak. And that is why when we are developing our lives, we are developing our careers, we must do introspection and think that whether our national character is being developed or not. Because that is very important. You are today's and tomorrow's citizens. What you think, how you behave will be the future of this country. And that is why I think some of the issues that are faced by us, I have brought them to your notice. There are two things more that the youth should think about is about drug addiction. Today a new report has come that the drug addiction figures that have come through a survey are around 16 crore, liquor and drug addiction. And that is really destroying our society. So how we can create awareness that we will go away from drug and liquor addiction. Secondly, I was in Coimbatore 4-5 days ago. I was sitting with the lawyers there and they told me that in the family courts of Coimbatore, every year around 8,000 new cases are coming as far as matrimonial matters are concerned. I went to Tirunelveli yesterday in Tamil Nadu. There also I inquired in the court. They said family court minimum of 1,300 new cases. You go to any district, or family court, big in country, you will find that in every district, at least a few thousand divorce or matrimonial matters are coming. So where is our family life going? I think many such things are there that we should think about when we think about our personal life. A few things I have tried to bring to your notice, that though the time is favorable and the future is good, but there are challenges that are within us and there are challenges that are without. So we will have to tackle them, and we have a responsibility to face those challenges. Along with that, there are forces that are working in our country that want one caste to fight against another caste. They want one language to fight against another language. They want one pranta to have problems with another pranta or state. So we must remember our inherent oneness. In this whole nation, maybe there are different castes, there are different languages, there are different sampradayas, but we belong to one ancestors, that we belong to one motherland, we belong to one dharma and sanskriti. Concentrating on that, I think if we remember our inherent oneness, then we will be capable of facing all these challenges if we remember our duty and devotion to all these things. Dhanyavad.